All right, and that's it. Okay, so welcome everybody. Good morning. Thank you all for attending today. For those who don't know me, my name is Chris Coffey. I am the Grants and Research Coordinator for the United Arts Council of Catawba County. Joining me also this morning, we have Ingrid Keller, our Executive Director. We also have Kat Evans on the call. She's our Artist Services Coordinator and also social media. So for today, this is the first session of our spring grant workshop today. We're going to be talking about the Innovative Artist Grant. So this is the grant that is for individual artists mostly. Before we jump in, I do want to apologize. I was a little under the weather last week. I have this kind of lingering cough, so hopefully that doesn't get worse as the presentation goes on today, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera off and share my screen. Okay. Can everyone see my screen okay right now? Okay, great. So to begin with, I'll show you guys how to get started on your application. So you'll go to the Arts Council website. It's at artscatawba.org. And see here we have a grants and scholarships tab. You can click on that, or you could go down to each of the drop-down menu items. So for you guys, of course, it'll be grants for individuals. And the first grant that pops up here is the Innovative Artist Project Grant. So as you can see, it's due on Thursday, March 21st at 5 p.m. And we are using a new online application form, which we're going to be going over later on in the presentation. So do keep in mind that 5 p.m. is, because we're using the online application form, that 5 p.m. is going to be very strict this year because I've just set it to shut off at 5 o'clock. So it's not like you could like email me that evening or something. So, okay. So the Innovative Artist Grant is made possible by monies raised during a silent art auction held each year as part of our annual fundraising event, the Jingle Bell Bash. You know, each year we sort of receive artwork and other donated items from the community. And then we auction it off at this Jingle Bell Bash, and all the proceeds from the auction go directly to this grant. So in a way, it's kind of like artists helping artists, giving back to the community and helping to generate new projects in the area. So the grant, grant awards are for innovative and creative projects with collaborative efforts encouraged. Seeking to cultivate area artists, the purpose of these grants is to create exposure and focus on Catawba County's support of its artists. Right. So let's take a look at the guidelines first. You could just click right here, view 24 to 25 guidelines, and that'll pull up the PDF, which you could also download or print. There it is again. You know, Jingle Bell Bash is funding this. So purpose of the grant is to fund the most innovative and creative projects or experiences that benefit the residents of Catawba County, and to create an exposure and a focus on Catawba County with the support of artists. The reason for this, that there's such a focus on Catawba County in particular, is we also, along with the Jingle Bell Bash silent auction, the funds are also matched by our local government. So Catawba County and then the city municipalities, including Hickory, Newton, Conover, Maiden, Catawba, and Claremont, also provide funds for this. So let's see, let's get into the guidelines here. The Innovative Artist Project Grant is open to artists of any discipline for innovative and creative arts projects. So, you know, any discipline that could be, whether that's music or visual art or really, you know, anything you can think of, animation. So while arts organizations may apply, priority will be given to proposals submitted by individual artists. We do have a lot of other grants specifically for organizations. We have a whole page for that. So, you know, this one really is more geared towards the individual artists. Okay, due to the source of matching funds, the funds must be granted for projects that benefit Catawba County residents. And then while there are no restrictions on an applicant's place of residence, priority will be given to individual Catawba County artists. So essentially, if you don't live in Catawba County, you can still apply for this grant, but the project has to take place in Catawba County. And also priority will be given to the Catawba County artists, but technically you could apply if you're outside of the county, especially if you have a really innovative project that's taking place here. Okay. So an artist or organization may be funded more than once, but the highest priority will be given to projects that are truly new or provide a new experience to the area. Pretty self-explanatory. United Arts Council must be recognized in all publicity and printed materials for the project for which funds are granted. And on our website, there's a document with the language of how you can credit us for things, and you can also download our logo. So that's all on our website. Projects may take place after the council's fiscal year end on June 30th, 2025, upon approval by the grant panel. However, the funds must be requested no later than June 15th, 2025. So basically, you would have the entire fiscal year to spend the money for the project. And if it takes place a little bit after the end of the fiscal year on June 30th, that's fine. It just needs to, the funds need to be spent so that we're able to distribute all of our funds properly within the fiscal year, because that's how we're supposed to do it. Okay, so grant requests may not exceed 4,000, so that's kind of the cap on that. And then a final report will be due at the completion of the project. I haven't put it on the website yet, but it'll just be another online form like the one that you'll apply. I'm still working on creating the final report forms, so those will just be on the website right underneath the application, so you'll be able to see that later on. Okay, so any funds not granted will be carried over to the following year. Yeah, so that's like, I think I guess Ingrid, correct me if I'm. Basically, it should be spent by June 15th, but I guess if it's not, it just is that what that's saying there? I guess.
Yeah. Basically, if you don't request your funds by June 15th, you can't request them. So they're going to be carried over into the next year, and you won't be able to do your project. You'll have to apply again the next year.
I see.
So, because we just have to, because of how, these funds are tied to our municipalities and all of that, we have to spend them out by a certain time. And yeah, they have to stay within that fiscal year. So yeah, if you don't, basically just so that any funds that aren't granted out just get carried to the next year. But this is a pretty competitive grant, so we almost always grant all of these funds out.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay, thanks for clarifying that. All right, so applications must be submitted through the online form on the Arts Council website by Thursday, March 21st. You'll then receive a response indicating that your application's been received and complete. And then if you don't get a reply, well, I said please call our office, but probably just email me at, my email is grants@artscatawba.org, just to make sure that the application has been received. But really, whenever you submit that online form, it'll instantly send you an email back saying we've received your application. So if you don't get something like that, then just contact me. Okay, and then finally, so applicants will be required to appear before a grant panel. The date for that's going to be on Wednesday, April the 10th. So just make sure that you guys mark that on your calendar. We'll have the times whenever we get everyone's submissions in. We'll know how many people are going to need to appear before the panel, so we'll make a schedule for that. But if you guys just hold that date on your calendar. Okay. And then these are some technical instructions for the new online form that I wrote up. We don't really, rather than going through all these instructions, I'll probably just take you guys through the application itself and explain as we go. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to mention for that grant panel, so whenever that'll be over here at our Arts Council office in person. We may be able to do some virtual options for that, but I think mostly we want it to be in person for that. And your presentation will probably just be like 8 minutes long. You'll sort of present your project before a panel and present for about 8 minutes, and then they'll ask questions for another 7 minutes. So it'll be like a 15-minute presentation. Okay, so let's get into the online application. So if we go back to our website, here's the guidelines right underneath it. That's the link to the application form. And this is what that looks like. I'm just going to go through it and just fill it out. So we'll just say our project title, and we'll say we're requesting $2,000. Okay, I'll put my name. I'm also the contact person.
Mhm.
And this is pretty self-explanatory. arts.org. Number. County Papa. And then the mailing address. I don't know if it'll make me type an actual address or not. Okay, so then we get down to the narrative questions. Please give a brief description of your project. See, we have a 3,000 character limit here. That's not exactly saying we want you to write 3,000 characters. That's just a maximum, so that we had to put some kind of cap on it. So you'll type that up there. And then we just have a question. If there's any other grant recipients involved in the project, just to name them here. If there's not any, that's a required question, but if there isn't anyone else involved, like if it's just you, then you can just put NA or no. Okay, and then we get down to the attachment section. For those that applied to this in the past, it is a little different because of this online form. I think we used to have you send in the application and then send these attachments as emails. So there's not anything that you would need to email us. Everything can be done within this form. So for this, this first attachment is a letter with a detailed explanation of the project with the budget. And you must state how the project will benefit residents of Catawba County. Include your budget in the letter. So it's kind of like this is sort of a brief description, but then you can really get into all the details on here. So I have a little example PDF here. I'll go ahead and show you how it works. You could either click that to browse your files, or you could pull your file up and drag and drop. So I prefer to usually just drag and drop, and then it'll upload your example right there. So that's how that works. Then lastly is a resume or biography listing training, any rewards received, etc. Okay, so once you've completed the application, there's 3 buttons down here. You can print. So you could, if you wanted to save a copy of your application, you could print that out here. There's also a save button so that you could, if you didn't want to do this all in one sitting, you could save your progress and come back later. It will, whatever email that you put in here it will email a link to the application to your email, so you can come back and work on it later. Oh, let's see. I guess I didn't notice. Okay, I guess you have to have an account on here to be able to save. I didn't realize that. I apologize. I was already logged in last time I did this, so that's good to know. Okay, so there we go. So it's been saved as a draft, and then you could either have it sent as the email, or you could copy the draft link and save it somewhere else on another document, or if you needed to send it to somebody or something like that. So, okay. So once that has been saved and everything's been completed, you'll hit submit. Oh, letter. Okay. Incomplete fields. Oh, somehow, did I lose my attachments? Don't know why that happened. Try that again. There it goes. Okay. Not sure why it did that. So thank you. Your submission has been received. Now if I go into my email, can see here, this is the link from when I saved my application. So if I had wanted to go back and work on the form again, then I could just click that link. And then once I submitted the application, it said, "We've received your response." And then it's shows me some of the top details from that. Okay, so that's pretty much. Let's see. Let me double check if I missed anything. Application attachment. Yeah. Okay. So that's pretty much everything as far as the process goes. So I guess now, if you guys have any questions, we can go ahead and jump into like a question and answer. If you guys have any questions about that process, the guidelines, anything.
I guess I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
I'm currently working on a children's book and coloring book. I'm having to do a lot of like the editing and get it put into the proper formatting. If it's something that I've already started working on, can I still apply for the grant to have money help go towards that? Or is it something I have to start brand new?
Yeah, so you've already started, you started working on the project, but it hasn't been released yet. Is that what you're
Correct.
saying?
Yeah.
I think that'd be fine, right? I mean, yeah, I think you should be, yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah,
I
I
put
don't
a
see
lot
any
of
problem with
funds
that.
towards it, and I'm hoping to be able to incorporate an art show with it, which I'll have to buy more supplies for that.
Mhm.
I'll add a little further for you, Melissa. So yeah, it's fine if the project's not completed, but for your fund request, it needs to be things that haven't already been completed. So like your art show, that would be something that the grant could fund, or maybe if you have to purchase copies of the book, that could be something that it could fund. So even if you've already, or if you need to, buy additional supplies to complete, or you need to get a photographer to take the pictures to put it for. So those are the kinds of things you could request the funds. It's okay if it's already like a sort of a work in progress project. Though. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Yep.
Okay. Does anyone else have any other questions or?
So actually, I have a question. So I know this is for individuals, but what if that individual is part of a group, and you're wanting to do a combined exhibit or a project with a group of other artists? Would that qualify?
Yeah, especially if you're not if it's not part of an organization, like if you're just an unincorporated group of artists doing something together, absolutely. There is a place to do that on the application as well. There's a question that asks for other grant recipients, other people that are involved in the project. So you could be the contact person that's applying, but also include the other artists that are part of the project.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any other questions?
I guess I have kind of a sideways question. Can this be connected to seeking an experience outside of Catawba County, but bringing back a learning experience, art generated, something that can be transferred in an educational way to the community here in Catawba County about somewhere else?
I mean, is it sort of like you as an artist are gaining this experience and like you're wanting to share that back with the community when you come back?
Yes, and use it as an educational tool. The reason I'm saying that is I'd really like to apply for like a national park artist in residency. And my hope was to generate art there, but also be able to bring that experience back and educate children or the community, tie it in with, it could lead into science lessons or helping students make art about, learning other things about other places too, because, a lot of our children in the community don't have the opportunity to go anywhere. And so I was looking to see if that is something that is bent in the direction of earning a opportunity at a grant like this?
That would be more of an artist support grant, Allison, and
Okay.
those are available in the fall. Because that grant is more for an artist to do exactly what you're talking about, professional development, something that's going to take your skills to the next level. And certainly if you've got that community engagement element as part of it, that just adds to it. But really this grant is more for projects that are happening here in the community.
Okay.
The artist is doing something here in the community, engaging with the community actively.
Right.
Excuse me.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Excuse me. I was wondering, does it have to be for an actual art project, or could it be, say, if you wanted to renovate space for artists to have a space to have studio space?
I would say, and Ingrid could kind of jump in on, probably not. I don't think it could be used for like, we've had some grants that have been more for that kind of thing, where it's about renovation, construction, like kind of brick and mortar things, where it's more permanent things. I would say this is more like project based, so like really just like events and like a program that you would be starting. But I don't think that would be applicable for this one.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, no problem.
I had a question. So if you have an idea that you'd like to, in the ways of benefiting the county with your work, and then take it to, say, whether the library or wherever the community organization that you're thinking of channeling it to, would it help to have a letter from that person, some kind of, the support letters of like, yes, we've spoken, they have my blessing on this artist, if this was offered, then we would be happy to host, or whatever,
Yeah, that would definitely help. I know that it says in our guidelines that the collaborative efforts are encouraged. So
Mhm.
I think that would be good. I'm checking right now, because I think
Mhm.
I have an attachment spot for a letter and then an attachment spot for a resume. I may go back in and just add a general support material attachment, so that you could put things like that in there.
Okay,
So I'm
great.
actually gonna go add that back. So thank you for that.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Do we have any other questions? Okay. Well, I think we're all set then. We're almost at half an hour now, so you guys are all good. If you have any other questions, or if you think of anything, again, my email is grants@artskatawba.org. So just feel free to reach out anytime. Otherwise, yeah. So that online application is live now. It'll be due on March the 21st, and again, just hold that April 10th date for the panel. So. All right. Well, thank you guys all for attending this morning, and yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye,
Thanks.
everyone.
Thank you. Hope you all have a
Take
nice day.
care. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.